Welcome to the deep dive.
Great to be here.
So today we're doing something pretty interesting. We've got these transcripts from the first 10 sort of short lessons from Learn English with Mrs. Priya. It's a beginner English program.
Yeah, aimed right at beginners.
Think of it like we're trying to, reverse engineer those very first steps someone takes learning English. Our mission really is to kind of figure out the best ways they build that initial foundation.
Exactly. We're digging into how these basic language skills are introduced, how they're practiced right from square one.
Yeah.
It's about understanding what works in those really crucial early stages.
Right. So we're basically listening in on Miss Priya, the teacher, and Ravi, her student.
Yeah.
And the whole format is, it's very conversational, simple, covers really practical everyday things.
Totally. Like greetings, family, hobbies.
Daily routines, yeah, going to a market, a restaurant, asking directions.
Yeah, the weather, saying goodbye. That's a lot for just 10 short lessons.
It really is. A packed introduction to basic English. Okay, let's get into it.
Okay.
One of the first things, it jumps right out at you, is the amount of repetition.
Oh, absolutely. It's striking right from the beginning.
Yeah.
Like the very first line, hello everyone and welcome to Learn English with Mrs. Priya. That shows up multiple times just in the first episode.
Really?
Multiple times.
Yeah. And it's not just like a one-off thing. This pattern of repeating questions and the answers they expect, it's all through the 10 transcripts. And, for English beginners, that kind of repetition is super important because English spelling and pronunciation, well, they don't always match up neatly, do they?
Not at all.
Tricky. So hearing those sounds and patterns again and again really helps lock them in.
You see it straight away. Episode 1, Miss Priya asks, how do you say hello? Ravi says hello. She goes, very good.
And then they do it again.
Right. The exact same thing. Then again for good morning. It feels very deliberate, like you're embedding these key phrases.
So, okay, here's the interesting part. What's the actual thinking behind doing this so much, especially right at the start?
Well, from a language learning view, especially for beginners hitting English, repetition is just fundamental for a few reasons, really.
Like what?
It helps a lot with memorization, obviously. It reinforces the right way to say things, the pronunciation. And honestly, it just builds confidence. Things become more familiar.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So by hearing and saying these basic phrases over and over, Ravi or anyone starting out, they start to internalize them. It's about making it automatic, less thinking, more doing.
Like muscle memory almost.
Kind of, yeah, for your mouth and brain.
It's like learning song lyrics, right? The chorus just sticks after a while.
Exactly.
Okay, so beyond just repeating the same phrases, there's also this very careful, gradual way they introduce new words and simple grammar.
Precisely. They don't just throw complex sentences at the learner. The lessons are clearly designed to build, step by step, on what came before. They start with the absolute basics. Hello, good morning. Then, my name is Priya, I am a teacher.
My name is Ravi, I am a student. Very simple.
Short, simple sentences.
Yeah.
Really common, crucial words. And this gradual thing is so important for English because the grammar can feel, well, pretty different from other languages.
Right.
So introducing it bit by bit stops the learner from getting totally overwhelmed right at the start.
And then you see, okay, next step, new words for family, father, mother, sister.
Introduce with the super basic verb is. He's a doctor, she's a teacher.
Yeah. Then later, hobbies come in, reading, playing cricket.
And daily routines introduce verbs like wake up, brush, take a bath, eat, go.
All in these short, sequential sentences. It's very, very methodical, step by step.
It is.
So what does this gradual approach tell us about, effective language learning?
It really points to the importance of what educators call scaffolding.
Scaffold.
Like building scaffolding. You provide a support structure so the learner can reach higher than they could alone.
Okay.
Here, the simple sentences, the familiar words, that's the scaffold. By adding new bits slowly, building on what's already solid, you avoid, cognitive overload.
Too much information at once.
Exactly. And it lets the learner steadily grow their language toolkit. It's all about building a really strong, stable foundation before you start adding the complicated stuff in English.
Makes sense. Build it block by block.
Pretty much.
Something else that really stands out is how focused these lessons are on practical communication.
Oh, absolutely.
These aren't, abstract grammar drills. They're all about situations you'd actually find yourself in.
That's spot on. The whole curriculum feels like it's built around what you need right now.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. Greetings. Most basic social thing there is.
True.
Talk about family, hobbies. Yeah. That lets you introduce yourself, make connections.
Right. Basic small talk.
Daily routines.
Yeah.
Lets you tell a little story about your day.
And then they get into really specific practical things, like the market scene.
Yeah, introducing words for vegetables and fruits.
Or navigating school, asking for directions. Excuse me, where is the bank? That's crucial.
Super useful.
Ordering food in a restaurant,
Right.
which also brings in that politeness point we should talk about.
Definitely. It's all incredibly grounded in how you'd actually use the language.
So if we connect this practicality focus to like the overall goal of the program, what does that suggest?
It strongly suggests the main aim is equipping learners to communicate right away in common, everyday English situations.
Functional language.
Exactly. Functional proficiency. Being able to do things with English, interact effectively in the real world. It's probably about building confidence quickly by letting them handle basic interactions fast.
Get some quick wins.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
And you mentioned politeness. There's a very deliberate effort to teach that woven right in.
Yes. That restaurant bit in episode 8 is a great example.
Awesome.
Well, the teacher, this is Priya, she explicitly guides Ravi, tells him to change from the direct, I want a sandwich.
Which can sound a bit blunt.
Right, to the more polite, please give me a sandwich.
Ah, okay.
And this isn't just learning words, it's learning social rules in English. Politeness isn't just assumed, it's directly taught.
As part of communicating effectively.
Exactly. It shows how important using the right kind of language is in English-speaking cultures for, smooth and respectful interactions.
It's not just an afterthought, it's core. You need to know how to use the words respectfully.
Totally.
We also see loads of positive reinforcement from Miss Priya.
Oh, yeah.
Lots of very good, excellent, nice, good job after Ravi answers.
That encouragement is so, so important, especially for beginners. People could feel, a bit shy or nervous speaking a new language.
Definitely.
So that positive feedback, it really helps build confidence. It motivates them to keep going, keep practicing.
And Ravi seems into it too, right? He says something like, I'm so happy to start learning.
Yeah, early on. That positive vibe between them, teacher and student, it's crucial for making the learning environment feel comfortable, supportive.
It really does seem to make it less scary, more like something you can do.
Makes a huge difference.
Okay, one last thing, the structure. These lessons always follow that question and answer format.
Very consistent.
It's super predictable for the learner. What's the benefit there?
Well, that predictability,
Mm-hmm.
it offers quite a few advantages. It gives a really clear framework, right? Makes it easier for Ravi to follow along to participate.
He knows what's coming.
Exactly. He knows Miss Priya will ask something, he'll try to answer, then she'll give feedback. That steady structure actually reduces the mental effort for him.
How so?
It means he can focus more brain power on understanding and actually producing the English instead of wasting energy trying to figure out, what are we doing now?
Ah, interesting.
Yeah, and there's research on this, like the interaction hypothesis in language learning. It suggests these kinds of structured chats are key.
Why is that?
It's because they give learners chances to get feedback, check if they understood right, and fix their own mistakes when they speak. All really important for getting better.
It's like giving them a safety net, maybe. A mental map for the conversation.
That's a great way to think about it. It creates a safe, predictable space to practice, which could really cut down on the anxiety that often comes with speaking a new language.
Okay, so let's sort of recap what we've pulled out from this deep dive into these early Mrs. Priya lessons.
Sure.
We saw how vital that repetition is, especially for English sounds and phrases, just drilling them in.
Yep. And the careful, gradual way they add new words and simple grammar, building that strong foundation.
Right. And that constant focus on practical, everyday communication stuff you actually need.
Plus, the explicit teaching of politeness, not just vocabulary.
And the power of positive encouragement, all those very goods to build confidence.
Definitely. And finally, the benefit of that clear, predictable structure, the Q&A format, making it easier and less stressful to learn.
So when you put all those pieces together...
Well, these seemingly simple things, the repetition geared for English, the slow build-up, the practical focus, teaching politeness directly, the encouragement, the clear structure, they're really the essential building blocks, aren't they? For anyone starting out with English.
Yeah.
You could almost see it applying to learning any complex skill, really. Break it down, practice the basics again and again, focus on how you'd actually use it.
It really makes you think, doesn't it? How these like super basic conversations lay the groundwork for everything else.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The foundation for much more complex language for real communication out in the world.
So what does this whole initial setup suggest about the bigger journey of learning a language, or I guess any new skill?
Well, it really underlines how important it is to start small, be consistent, focus on the practical use, and have that kind of structured, supportive environment.
Starting small, keeping at it, knowing why you're learning it, and getting support.
Yeah, something valuable to think about, whether you're tackling a new language or, any big challenge you set for yourself.
Definitely food for thought. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.